Hello, it's your Uncle Spurt here, and I hope your body is ready for more Motorola fun times. Today I'm having a good old fun though with a budget-friendly Moto G85. Well, I say budget-friendly, it's actually £300 here in the UK, so that price has gone up a bit since the G84, but has the overall experience also improved? Well, why don't I stop banging on, actually whip it out the box and take you on a full-on tour to find out. For more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first, what do you get stuffed in that box besides the Moto G85? Well, if you were hoping for a hot bit of adapter action, prepare for disappointment. You've got yourself a USB cable and the obligatory pokey SIM pin and a lovely wee diagram showing you all the various bits of the Moto G85. The bugger all adapter, sadly. However, in slightly better news, the phone itself does actually come pre-clad in a condom case. So you can keep your G85 ensconced in this prophylactic cover and hopefully it won't come to any harm. And that's it, everything that they've hoid inside the box. So say hello to the Motorola G85 5G if you want to give it its full moniker. I've got to say I really rather like the look and feel of this thing. Actually, the design reminds me quite heavily of the Moto Edge 50 series. And that's Motorola's most recent crop of flagship phones for anyone who hasn't been following the many videos I've been doing on Motorola blowers recently. So once again, you've got that display that pretty much fills the front end, subtly curving around the edges on the left and the right sides there. Quite a slender wee bugger as well, as you can see there. Practically glides into any pocket or bag you want to stuff it inside of. And it's super light as well, weighs a cockroach's pube over 170 grams. So certainly one of the lightest smartphones that I've had my mitts on in 2024. It is just a plastic frame, sadly no aluminium action or anything here, but then flip it around back. And once again, you've got a bit of vegan leather action, which Motorola absolutely loves. So once again, it's an alluring soft touch finish, feels really nice against the palm. And you'll get yourself this textured arse end if you grab this here cobalt blue model, otherwise the olive green version. But if you opt instead for the highly thrilling urban grey model, well that is the only one of the trio to come with a proper hard plastic shell arse. I also just want to briefly appreciate how that camera bump barely juts above the surface at all. It's an almost flat finish. It's increasingly rare these days. And this phone isn't water resistant, but it is at least water repellent, so no worries if you spill a bit, you pint on it, you dribble on it, whatever. So personally, I really like the design of the Moto G85. I can understand why some people might not get on with it, because not everyone likes the slopey edge finish. Some people just prefer a flat screen. Thankfully, no issues with screen responsiveness, no matter how hard I clutch this thing. Even with all of the palm flab intruding on that curved screen, as you can see there, still perfectly responsive, all good. And to actually unlock this blower, it is of course an in-display fingerprint sensor, your simple optical effort as usual. And it's not the fastest I've ever used, that's for sure, but certainly it doesn't seem to struggle to recognize me, which is the main thing. And you do always have face unlock as a backup as well. Just tap that power button, it's actually probably faster than the fingerprint sensor, if not quite as secure. And hey, once you're in there, it's a lovely stock bit of Android 14 action as you would expect. Motorola's still not the best when it comes to software support, sadly, so they've guaranteed 2 Android OS updates for the G85, Android 15, hopefully this year, maybe start of next year, depending on how fast they roll it out. Then a bit of Android 16 and that's your lot. But you do at least get 4 years of security patching on this bad boy. Again, might not be the most prompt, timely delivery of these security patches, but yeah. If that's going to be an issue for you, there's always the likes of the OnePlus Nord series, stuff like that instead. The actual software setup itself is fantastic. No heavy launchers on top. When you drag down the notifications bar, looks just like the Pixel phones. Motorola's only real contribution to the UI is adding in its own fonts. And you've got quite a few bonus bits if you dive on into the Moto app as well, so you can fully customize your G85. Sadly, still bugger all signs of an always on display on this bad boy, however. You can only have the phone wake up when you lift it up or give it a bit of a tap. I will forgive Motorola though, because they do still have that fast torch feature. All the usual Moto secure shenanigans, and of course the gaming mode, which we'll bang on about in a bit. You've got some other decent Motorola apps chucked on here as well, including Family Space. Particularly good for those long car journeys or when you're in a restaurant, you just want your sprog to shut the hell up. Turn this on, hand your blower to your wee lovely bundle of joy, and then they can mess about with games and stuff without accidentally going online and seeing some rather nasty things that they shouldn't. Make sure you keep Daddy's search history, kiddo. And Smart Connect is well worth checking out as well. Allows you to wirelessly pair up with a laptop, a monitor, all kinds of stuff, just to share your apps and files and stream some content. Unfortunately, Motorola phones do seem to be getting a little bit worse when it comes to crapware. So here, for instance, we've got the likes of Facebook, LinkedIn, Booking.com. You just cannot get away from this sodden thing, although thankfully you can just uninstall the living ruddy heck out of it all. And lots of random shitty games as well. So the likes of Bottle Jump 3D, which blatantly just wants to absolutely rinse all of your personal data and actually looks like a ZX Spectrum game from back in the day. Ooh, what's my prize? Having all of my information sold on the dark web. Fortunately, as I say, easily deleted, and you do at least get 256 gigs of storage here on the G85 as well. And yes, that is actually expandable via micro SD memory cards, hallelujah. Now you've actually got a bigger screen here versus the older Moto G84. It's now a 6.67 inch P-OLED panel with those curved edges, so just like the Moto Edge 50 phones in that regard as well. It's a Full HD Plus resolution, so not as crisp as some more expensive models, but certainly sharp enough for a bit of photo editing, just kicking back with some Netflix, whatever you fancy. And while I've absolutely used brighter panels at this sort of price point, the G85 screen certainly isn't dim. Here in the UK, I haven't been struggling, that's for sure. If you live somewhere proper sunny, then you might have to seek a bit of shade every now and then. Viewing angles are good. You've got the usual nightlight type shenanigans to make things easier on the peepers in the evenings. As for the refresh rate, well, you can choose between 60 and 120 Hz, or just leave it on automatic so it'll scale up and down depending on what you're up to. And you've also got yourself a stereo speaker setup here on the Moto G85, but is it not CAC? Let's find out. Boost that volume all the way up. And so far in 2024, Col P & Co have been busier than a bunch of coked up beavers, spaffing out not only a whole bunch of watches, earbuds, serial killer coats, etc., but also 2 new budget-friendly phones. And for £300, that's not a bad audio setup at all. You can definitely tell that the bottom speaker has got a bit more grunt compared with that earpiece speaker, so the sound's not completely balanced, but when you do max out the volume, the actual audio quality stays respectable. It's not the loudest speaker setup I've heard in recent times, but it's absolutely fine. And yes, you do have Dolby Atmos support on here as well. This can automatically adjust your audio settings based on what you're up to, otherwise you've got a bunch of presets. No headphone jack here sadly, and it is older Bluetooth 5.1 for your wireless streaming shenanigans, but I found that works absolutely fine with my speakers and headphones I've got lying around here. But what about the performance? Has that been massively upgraded here for the Motorola G85? Well, when I found out it wasn't the Snapdragon 695 stuffed in here, I actually dropped to my knees, which hurt like bloody by the way, and praised the baby Jesus. That is until I discovered that Motorola had simply switched it out with the fresher but just as limited Snapdragon 6S Gen 3, which sports a near identical architecture. It's got the same cores, just clocked slightly higher, and that same Adreno 619 GPU. Now, it's not necessarily a terrible thing. The everyday performance is still fine, mostly helped along by the fact you've got a light stock version of Android here. Seeing a couple of wee stumbles here and there, but overall pretty satisfying, and gaming is certainly more than possible. The likes of Zenless Zone Zero, for instance, does actually play reasonably well on the low graphics settings. That frame rate stays reasonably fluid, although as soon as you start bumping it up to the higher graphics settings at 60 frames per second, that's when the frame rate takes a serious hit, and you will notice some proper dips when the action gets a bit bonkers. Still, the Moto G85 did stay relatively cool. Even after a good 30-40 minutes of gaming, it wasn't getting too toasty, just a bit hot up towards that top end there. That camera app can also be a wee bit slow, shall we say, as well, just like swapping camera modes, little things like that. And if you're trying to do any rapid fire shooting, you'll notice the processing time certainly catches up with you pretty swiftly. So sadly, no big improvement in performance compared with the previous generation, and you're basically getting the same battery tech here as the old Moto G84 as well. 5000 mAh capacity cell with 30 watt wired charging. And to be perfectly frank, you don't need a bigger battery stuffed inside of here. It's more than good enough to give you all day play, even with tons of screen on time, lots of camera action, all that good stuff. You should even be able to get a full weekend away with just a single charge, as long as you're not absolutely rinsing it. It is a shame you don't have more rapid charging because, you know, it's for like 50 more. The Moto Edge 50 Fusion offers 68-watt turbo power charging, so that thing fills up again in under an hour. But if you're just going to bung a cable in it every night when you pass out face first on your pillow, well, no worries. And if you are going to do that, I recommend using optimized charging, which just helps to prevent long-term battery damage. And no, there is no wireless charging support. And last up for this lovely Motorola G85 unboxing, a bit of a squint at that camera tech, which sounds suspiciously similar again to the Moto G84s, but it has actually been changed up. So that primary shooter, once again, a 50 meg snapper with optical image stabilization, but the old Samsung sensor has been ripped out and replaced with a Sony Lytia 600 sensor, as also used by the Realme 13 Pro Plus and a whole bunch of other affordable mid-rangers. And the second option here is your standard basic 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter, which is also used for your macro type shenanigans. And of course you've got the usual selection of Motorola camera modes, including a portrait mode. Got a good bit of ultra res if you want to shoot at the maximum 50 megapixel resolution, quite good if you then want to crop in later. Thanks for a night vision mode, and of course a full-on pro mode as well, which allows you to shoot raw format images for editing on the fly. You can mess around with the likes of the focus, the white balance, the ISO levels, got a bit of EV shenanigans. But for these sample shots right here, I just stuck the Moto G85 in the automatic photo mode, and I was fairly satisfied with what I saw. As long as the lighting conditions aren't too cack or too bright, then generally you'll get some respectable color reproduction and plenty of fine detail packed in there. And if you do find yourself up against some pretty tricky high contrast type situations, you do have the auto enhance feature, which I highly recommend, which can just brighten up some of those darker areas without properly oversaturating everything. If you want to shoot some home movies, you'll notice there's no way of changing up the resolution, and that's because this thing maxes out at full HD. There's no 4K option, which is presumably another limitation of that chipset. But at least the stabilization's respectable, visuals aren't too fuzzy or grainy. And the audio capture is certainly pretty strong, not too much distortion when things get a bit blustery. Then that selfie camera has been upgraded on the Moto G85 to a 32 megapixel sensor, and it's fine if you just want to prove that you're still alive on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Not too perturbed by strong backlighting and not too cack when it comes to low light shots. And yeah, not too shocking that the Moto G85 selfie cam again maxes out at full HD resolution. You can't shoot 4K video, but again the audio pickup absolutely glorious and the stabilization's pretty good, so not too much shakiness even if you've had a few shandies. And there you have it, my pretties. That in a delicious wee nutshell is the Motorola Moto G85 5G. Not a huge upgrade over the previous G84, certainly the performance very similar indeed. The battery life still excellent. The camera tech's pretty bloody good, though I do like the fact you've got that auto enhance feature for HDR type situations. That certainly seems to help out a bit. And of course you've got that rather lovely Edge 50 style design as well, which some people might not be entirely on board with, but I rather like. That's what I reckon. Anyway, it'd be great to hear your thoughts on the Moto G85 down in the comments below, especially if you've actually been using it as your full-time phone. Give us your own mini review. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a really wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.